everybody. Sorry I haven't uploaded any videos recently. This is League 3 as it just says there. I have been doing all the races, I just haven't got around to any video editing. It's been a crazy start to the League 3. There was a few rainy weeks, and the rain races were awesome. The standings at the moment is actually myself and the guy in front of me at the top of the championship, closely followed by one of the new guys who's progressed pretty quickly, and he's in third. He's actually behind us right now, I'm pretty sure, but yeah, it's pretty tight between the top three of us. This is also the final race. I qualified first, and then the sprint was second, which is why I'm starting second here, and then this is the final race for the night. This snapshot right here pretty much sums up the intensity of the whole race. So hold onto your horses or chairs or hats or whatever you got around you and strap in. Just watch car 10 here. See him like kind of oversteering a lot whenever he turns left, and he even acknowledges that he's like, what the hell? I actually had that car in practice before qualify, and there's something wrong with the back left wheel, like the chassis bend. Watch again. And then I feel bad for him, so I give him space. I'm like, dude, like, that really sucks. Position 3 takes advantage of that, as any good driver would. But going back to car 10, I think there's like something wrong with the chassis or the back right wheel. It was almost impossible to drive turning left. So kudos to Jeremy for doing a really good job in that car. I'd also like to point out that car number 3, side by side with me just there, and car 15 ahead. These guys are pretty new to the league. This is like their second, I think it's actually maybe their third league. And yeah, they're doing this well already. So the caliber of drivers entering the leagues at NJMP has really stepped up this year. It's actually pretty crazy. Okay, I think I got some of the formalities out of the way. We can start talking about my performance so far. I think this car's really struggling with the straight line speed. You can see me shaking my head there in disapproval. But it's got pretty good grip and pretty good handling. I'm really liking the brakes as I give number 10 a little nudge there, and then I receive a little nudge back. Yeah, it's taking me a bit to try and figure out how I can make up for that deficit of top line speed on the straight where these guys stop pulling away from me. So I think out of the three of us right here, 15's got the advantage overall. 10, as I said, is like really suffering through the corners, but it's got the top, the straight line speed. I've got good cornering, but no straight line speed. 15's kind of got a bit of everything, so it's a really tight fight for the top three here. One thing this camera angle doesn't show you, it's a pity I don't have a GoPro pointing backwards, but behind us right now, there's like maybe 4 or 5 carts all clumped together, like in a pack, right on, sorry for the language here, but right on my ass. So any mistake that anyone makes in front of me that also costs me, I'm going to have about 5 people overtaking me, so it's pretty stressful at this point. Coming up to turn 5, watch number 10 and how much he struggles here. Ah man, that's just so hard to watch. Like there's nothing you can really do about that. That's just the cart, like just not playing the game. No matter what he does, I know because I was in that cart, no matter what you do, it's very difficult to control that. So that cart deficit there by cart 10, it unfortunately just gives me position 2 quite easily. I don't even have to work for it, so that's just racing at the end of the day. So now it's just a race between me and first, or so I think at this stage in the race. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, I'm racing against first, I don't have to worry about anything else, but there's a lot of stuff going on behind me. Notice how I time my turn here to slot in as close as I possibly can going down the hill onto the straight, because I know that I'm slower than him, so I need to be right behind him to be able to stay with him on the straight, otherwise he's going to pull away. One thing you'll notice about kart 15 is how defensive he's being. Even when I open up wide, he's still defensive. He doesn't go back to the racing line. He's still just hugging that apex, and that's because of our last few races. We've been fighting a lot. So he's doing that on purpose. It's a new tactic that I've never dealt with, so I'm actually trying to learn this new tactic on the fly and trying to come up with some way of combating this. We can talk more about that later on in the race. All I'm going to say here is straight line speed. Straight line speed. Yeah, so I was setting myself up for a switchback, but number 36 made a small mistake and bumped into number 10. And man, number 10's actually having a rough night tonight, and it's actually going to get even more rough for him as the race goes on. If you're ever wondering how close you need to be to the cart in front of you for a slipstream, it's probably about that close. Yeah, I'm just holding it there. And I don't want to give away too many of my secrets, but it's also got something to do with the wind direction. I'll leave it at that. Guess what's coming? Guess what's coming? The switchback. Yes, and the nod of approval. But he's super defensive, and I think he gets me on the inside. Yeah, he's still there. And a decent bump to let me know that he's still there and wants the position probably more than I do. That's a lie, I want the position more than he does, but I'm not going to push people off the track. No shots fired, we already had a chat about this. Shots fired at Amy there for trying to spin me out on the straight. Thanks for that, Amy. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but when we take the helmets off, we're actually all friends. Yeah, we're actually all friends. When we're not racing, we're all friends.
Yes, I just want you to know that this is not my decision, but from here on out, we can no longer be friends.
Seriously though, guys, I don't know how F1 drivers do it and still maintain friendships off the track. Or any form of drivers for that matter, not just F1 drivers. So this lap actually ends up being the fastest lap for myself for the whole race. And that's mainly because I get a bit of a tow here through the straight. Well, for that whole previous lap, I was pretty much getting a tow, and I didn't have to be defensive against anyone, and I wasn't actually trying to be offensive either. Now I know these karts have 4-stroke engines, and they're very similar to lawnmowers, but come on, kart 15. But regardless of my garden work that I just did there, I managed to pull off the overtake, mainly because I get the inside line and there's no real way for him to get me back. The only possible opportunities here on the inside, but at that point he's far enough back that I don't really need to be too defensive. But as I'm coming up to the finish line here, sorry, not the finish line, just the line, the timing line, you'll see how that move affected my time. So yeah, that added about, what, like 4.5 tenths onto my time just with that one move. So yeah, that's, looking back at all my laps, they're all pretty much around that pace because I've been defensive the whole race, or I've been attacking the whole race. So really my only clean lap was lap 9, where I purely focused on just milking a lap to try and get as close to 15 as possible to set myself up for that specific move. And it pays out because now I'm in first position and all I have to do is try and hold it. Obviously, again, biggest threat for me is on the straights. I know they can drive straight past me, so I have to utilize the corners to the maximum extent possible, carry as much speed in, carry as much speed as I can around, and get on the power super early to keep the RPM high. So yeah, threshold brake as much as I can, which I don't do very well. I think I've kind of lost the feel for it, especially in turn 1. But instantly back on the power, keep that RPM high. One of the things I'm doing here is, I don't know if you've noticed since I've taken first place, I have not looked back once. I've been looking forward the whole time because I'm just trying to focus purely on racing. Yeah, so that all comes to an end right now. 15 puts his nose in, I give him space on the apex, he runs me wide, slows me down on the exit. Now they've got better acceleration than me and a better position on the inside line, and the whole squad overtakes me. That's what you get for being nice. Moral of the story, don't be nice in races. I'll rephrase that. Don't be nice, be respectful. Coming up to turn 1. 10's got the inside line, so I'm going to give him some space here. And yeah, that was nice and clean. Now he's taking that position from me. I can't really do anything about it, but out of nowhere, this happens. Yeah, so that kind of happened out of nowhere. And to be honest, like, I'm shaking my head there because I didn't really understand the full context of that. But afterwards, I found out that the reason why that happened was really no fault of anyone's, and everyone kind of made up for it. But as I was saying earlier, Kart 10 is just having the roughest of rough nights. Like, not only did he get a really difficult car to drive, but he's been bumped into and pushed off track multiple times, and then that happens to him as well. So like, I feel pretty bad for him. But at the end of the day, that's just racing. Like, sometimes you do really well, and sometimes you get taken out by an absolute Hail Mary. No fault of anyone's, that's just racing. I'm going to rephrase that. It's not nobody's fault. It is somebody's fault. But I think the difference in racing compared to just driving normally on the road is, you know, in racing, when you make a mistake, you would like to think that as a racing driver, you're trying to better yourself. You identify the mistake you made and you go, you know what, like, I'm not going to do that again, or I'm going to improve from that, or like, why did that go wrong and how can I better myself for next time? And that's exactly what happened between those two drivers. They spoke about it afterwards, and both of them have learned from that. So it was great to see that. And yes, I am still in second position. This is just one of the back markers that I'm trying to make quick work of, so it doesn't hold me up too much before catching up to number 15. And this is approaching another back marker here. 15 gets around him pretty easy. I'm kind of stressing here because he's got the inside line. I'm like, oh damn, please don't take the apex. He takes the apex. I have to go a little bit wide. Hurts me a little bit, but not too much. But I think I'm just outside of that slipstream at this point. Probably just outside of that slipstream. Coming up to turn 2 here, I know he's going to stay super defensive, so I'm setting myself up for a switchback on the apex of turn 3, which I execute here. Now he's got the inside line, so I'm like, well, I've got to change things up. So for the first time in this race, I'm now going to try a switchback on turn 5. I'm just going to play this next bit in slow motion because with this switchback, I take a bit of curb. So by taking that curb, I lose some grip, I bump into him, but then I keep the turn coming to give him space on the next apex. So I'm not too sure why he widens up and goes onto the grass. I'm starting a rental karting 4-stroke gardening service. Call today 609-436 mowing. That's 609-436 mowing. A little shake of my head there, disapproval after what just happened. But anyway, back to the race because I really need that first position. We might turn into a lawnmower again. No, we didn't, thank God for that. I'm actually done with that. The only way I can really overtake him here is to set myself up for a switchback to get myself much better acceleration, which is very hard to do, as you can see right there, where that switchback just wasn't perfect enough for the best amount of acceleration possible. Small mistake here by a car 15 right there, hitting the inside of that apex. gives me an opportunity to take the center line, but this time I don't yield to him pushing me onto the grass. I just hold my position because, as I said, I'm done with guidance servicing in rental cars. Alright, now that I have the position, I have to go slightly defensive here, which I do, and that deters the dive, which is good, but I don't know if it's going to hold up on the straight. We'll see. Yeah, straight line speed didn't hold up, so he's got his nose in, so I'm going to have to give him some room here. Pushes me slightly wide again, but I have to yield this inside line to him because he's like, you know, in that position. I'm not going to push him onto the grass, but that allows someone else to sneak in. So now I have to try for a switchback, and my first accidental big bump for the night, but I execute the switchback. I have better acceleration here. I'm able to cover off the inside line, and that sets me up. I can hold the apex and carry this through to the finish line because we're now on the last lap, although I didn't know that whilst I was racing. But yeah, checkered flag and first place. So yeah, that was a absolutely crazy race. Like there's a lot that happened in that. Honestly, I could break this whole video up into multiple little segments and dissect every bit. Thumbs up for both of us here. Little fist bump to show that we're all good. No more guidance servicing for me. Yeah, but thanks guys. See you next time.